All right, hey guys, so today we'll be having a look at Sheet Detail. So it's a detailing company in Canada. As you can see right now, they do have a website. The website page is, it's not too bad, right? You have some of your past work. So basically a gallery. You have your Google reviews. I think these are live fed from their Google My Business profile. We'll have a look at that soon. And you have also a service section with the pricing. So the prices is on the homepage. I wouldn't necessarily put the pricing on the homepage because you might actually want to direct them to like a sales funnel or a page specifically for ceramic coating before you actually present the price. But as you can see right now, it's about 3 pages, so it's not that many pages to work with. Right off the bat, I can see that the title is under optimized, and that probably means that the other pages are also under optimized, but at least they do have something there, right? I can see that it's under optimized because it still has like home there. So typically you wouldn't want home, you'd want your primary location and your business, right? So usually for the homepage, I tend to just stick with the brand name, or we go with the primary category and location if they're very local. But the homepage should be your brand page, because anyone who's searching for your brand name should land on your homepage. They already know your business, so that's what you want to optimize for. As I go down, I see another error. There are like 2 H2s, and H2s are essentially usually the first words or the first title that you see on the website. I think he might be using this, but we'll have a quick look. So yeah, so we have home and also detail, polished, wash and clean. That's wrong. So that needs to be fixed. So probably like all of his H1s, his headings and whatnot needs to be fixed. So yeah, that's something that you'd want to fix and also maintain over time as you build out new pages. What happens, a lot of developers or just designers, they don't tend to look at things like this. For them, it's just they code a website, they either design or code a website, and they don't even pay attention to the SEO stuff. So over time, what will happen is you might buy a really nice website, it looks good on the outside, but once you start looking on how it's optimized, it's not really optimized for ranking or getting you customers from Google. So the main goal of SEO should be, or having a website should be, getting you customers. And if the website just looks good, it's not going to rank well, and no one will find you essentially. So as we continue, the links also need to be optimized. There are links without proper naming, right? So you want to optimize that also. Images without alt text, this is something that we see a lot because it takes a lot of time. You need to edit each image, add the title, the description, make sure that it's SEO optimized. So it takes a lot of time. So a lot of developers and designers tend to not want to do that for obvious reasons, right? So this is usually something you'd ideally want your developer to do, or whoever builds the website, but they typically don't really do that. And then so you'd want your SEO to take care of this for you and also maintain it over time so that all of your images are optimized properly, because if they're not, you won't show up in search for image searches, and Google also sees it as like a weakness, a weak point in your SEO. All right, so that would be the first first couple of things that we would want to tackle. Now your schema, you do have a schema here. It could be a standard schema from Rank Math or whatnot, but at least you do have something there. What we tend to do is, as we build out new pages or new content, we add the schema in. Now, what is a schema? You probably wondered, what the heck is he talking about? A schema is just a language, or just say coding on the website page that Google sees to be able to quickly assess what kind of information is there. As you know, there's not a human at Google looking at your website, but actually it's a robot. So you want to speak robot language essentially, and get them to digest that information as quickly as possible, because it then helps you rank better. So the schema that you were seeing for this page, ideally you'd want a bit more advanced schema. You'd want to have that consistently throughout your website. So quite a bit of stuff. I see that you're missing some social profiles. You'd want to interlink and connect all of your online assets, your Google My Business, to your website, to all of your social media platform, to over 80, probably over 100 different citations that you could get. You'd want all of those to be linking back to each other, because that's when you actually start to create a brand where Google actually sees and it looks on the web for mentions of your name, address, and phone number. And if you show up often enough, Google essentially sees you as a trustworthy brand. So I'm going to click on this, check the page speed. But since you have like a very small website, you shouldn't have any issues with page speed. What you do have is an issue with the security. So SSL is not taken care of. So that this alone tells me either whoever is managing your website isn't doing a great job, or maybe you're doing it yourself and you don't really have a lot of knowledge of like websites. So all right, so those are like issues I see initially. Now, other things that I'm seeing is that you have weak location signals. I just mentioned that a while ago, that you're missing quality schemas, but it's also the size of your website. Immediately, I checked your website out on the phone, and what happened was I saw that it was only like 4 pages, and that already tells me you're not gonna rank for much. Like, we have websites, I have my own website, some of them are like 2 pages and they do get leads, but they're very specific, very targeted, so they get leads even with like 2 pages. Literally targeting like a home page and contact page, right? But the more pages you have on a website, the more rods you're using to fish. So what we like to say is you want a healthy right size of website. I'm talking anywhere from like 20 to 25 pages. That's going to be including your service pages. You want, for each service, you would want a dedicated page, and then also location pages for your service area. So what that looks like is essentially ceramic coating in city, mobile car detailing in city, paint correction in city, right? So that's essentially what I'm talking about. That's missing from your home page. It's probably missing from all of your other pages. I do see here Edmonton, right? But yeah, that's about it. You have some kind of like map here, but I don't really see any kind of like Google reviews or Google profile link to it. If we scroll, typically these are the sections that I build on any kind of like website, especially local business websites. You want a bit about a company, since it's like the brand focused website for our website page. We have a gallery here, so this is good. Now, one thing I must say overall is, and not to make this too long, but your overall design is also not that great for a detailing company, right? You have so many like beautiful images here of cars and all that you can actually use to show that you're a premium company and that you guys do great work, and it's just down here, right? So just design and feel of the site could be improved. That's going to help improve your conversions. Just schedule an appointment may not be enough to like get people to move and book an appointment. Give them a reason, right? Book a free consult, book a free maybe get your first wash free, or whatever you're doing exactly, right? You'd want to have that somewhere there, some kind of like sweet offer where you get like maybe 5 or 10% off your first service. So so those are like things that I'm looking for as I look through the website. Now, like I just mentioned, the homepage has a lot of issues. Your homepage should rank for the primary keyword and city, so that's going to be mobile detailing and your city. Unless you want to go the route of, later on you might want to expand, so then you just keep the homepage for the brand. And you do mention like the primary keyword and city there, but the main focus is to rank for branded terms, so that when people are searching you on Google, you actually show up, right? So that's essentially what we're looking for. Your own page doesn't have it has schema, but probably not that good. And then also proper interlinking, and your titles were not as optimized as they should be. Now, what I was just mentioning with your service pages and just your overall website, it needs at least about 1,000 words per page. Things that I'm looking for is the process. right? What are the steps in order to get your services, right? If I want to buy it from you, I want to know what the price is. I do see that you have the price on there. That's great. But then what is the process? How do I buy it from you? You need to explain that to me in like anywhere from like 3 to 4 or 5 steps. Ideally like 3 to 4 steps. How do I get your services? You want to mention the benefits, right? Highlight that in a good section and make sure that you also have like imagery there. So before and after, you'd want FAQs on your homepage and also your inner service pages. So those are things that during the SEO campaign we'll be working on, and just making sure that we look through the content and re-optimize whatever content you have on your website so that it actually matches right, an optimized service page or just an optimized landing page so that you can get more customers calling you and you can rank better on Google. Now, to wrap it up, like I said, you're missing a lot of pages. You'd want one page per service, and it's not just I do car detailing, but you'd want to do every single type of like car detailing service that you do, of course, without competing pages or overlapping pages, right? These are some examples: interior car detailing, exterior car detailing, full car detailing, because these are separate services, have their own pricing. So you'd want to like explain that, because if I'm looking for a service like that and your competitors offers a page that gives me all of the information about that specific service, I'm probably gonna go with them. Like you probably would too. So yeah, that's one thing that you definitely want to like check out and just make sure that you tackle. Now, I like to mention this, if you're going to rank locally, it's not just your Google My Business. So I think I just performed a search for your business, and once it came up, not much came up. So even when I type in your brand name, I don't see any kind of like Google My Business here. So it means that Google is not consistently tying your business to your website. You'd want to have that. That's something that we would work on. You see how here right now it just says home and chic detailing. There's no reason for me to click on this, right? It doesn't really like entice me. This one is already a bit better, but you could optimize it and add some kind of like call to action to it. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to like the optimization, SEO optimization of your pages, the on-page stuff. You'd want that taken care of. Now, if I want to rank in Austin or Set Apart or anywhere else, right, you'd want to tell Google that on your website. All of those pages are missing, so all of those pages you'd need to like add in, and that's something that we would naturally take care of it during the SEO process. And those pages need to be somewhat unique, right? Add local landmarks, neighborhood mention, map embed, stuff like that, or even like city specific testimonials. That's going to help you stand out from your competitors. Now, another thing I see a lot of people mess up is just the internal linking. They don't do it at all. They add a new page to their website, but they don't link back to like the home page or to the other relevant pages on that website, let's say the service pages. And if your internal link is not good, you can publish all the content you want, but you're not going to rank. So we like to have a lot of supporting articles, supporting content, supporting like the money pages, so that your money pages rank. And these are what we call commercial pages. Essentially, those are like your sales pages. So I think on your website, that would essentially be like your service pages here. So those are the pages you want to like push the internal linking to. Of course, it needs to like make sense, but yeah, that's something you really want to like think about. And it's something that we do with every single new piece of content that we create. We add there's the content itself that the humans see, essentially, and then there is what Google sees, that's the schema. There's an internal linking of that article, and sometimes even like linking out to assets like your Google My Business profile is going to help, and making sure on that page that you have proper call to actions and just contact forms eventually. Now, I wanted to mention this specifically. You need more Google reviews. For one, I cannot find your Google My Business right directly. Maybe if I type in Google Maps, let me see, and then I type in your name. So if you could get a Google My Business map, or Google My Business is going to help you get more leads. It's going to help your website. Your website is actually going to help your Google My Business, not the other way around. But if your Google My Business is on your website with the reviews, that's going to help a lot. Before and after would be great. I do see that you have pictures on there, but if you structure them as before and after, you're showing them, hey customer, this is where you're at, or this is, you know, your fugly car, this is where we can get you. So you really need to, like, you know, think about sales, think about conversion while you're building your website and while you're you know ranking it. So testimonials, if you get video testimonials, those are going to be really strong. So I would recommend that for sure. And then of course, you know, real photos. If you don't have a lot of photos right now, just get some more. I know that there are folks who maybe are not able to do all the photos, or they're just too lazy, I'm not sure, but yeah, real photos help, and real photos perform better than fake photos, both on Google My Business profiles and your website. So I'm not sure about the Google Maps listen. Let me know if you do have it. All right, man. So this is not for at least, you know, 15 minutes. And I think I've mentioned quite a bit of like stuff in terms of like your website and just what you need in order to rank. Those are essentially the things that we do. So yeah, if you'd like to know more, if you have any kind of like questions, just let me know. And if you're watching this from like YouTube and you'd like me to do an SEO audit of your business, just let me know. Just reach out, maybe drop a comment here, or head over to my website, organicsagency.com, and I'll be happy to do one for you. Record a similar video, show you exactly what you're missing. You might not be starting from this position. You know, you might have more pages, or you might have been doing SEO for a while. Either way, we analyze the data, we analyze your website structure, your website pages, and we tell you exactly what you need to do in order to push the car, or push whatever you want, push your website in the right direction, which is actually ranking in the top position. And you know, for some of you, just be honest, it might take a bit of time, because you know, you might be in a very competitive area or just market. But for a lot of companies, you know, you could actually be ranking within like 6 to 9 months, sometimes even sooner, just depending on your competitors. If your competitors are sleeping, not doing much in terms of like SEO, we have like certain industries for that. Think like gadget repair or whatnot. A lot of those guys, they don't really do SEO. You can actually rank pretty fast and get your website up there pretty fast, and just like sucking like at least 60, 70, or if not like 80% of the leads that land on Google for a particular keyword. All right. Anyways, that's it. Let me know if you'd like an audit from me. Cheers.